My name is Ayodele Adio. I am the host of The Drill. I am a tough guy that like to ask the tough questions. That's what I love to do because I love an honest debate and I love a frank discussion. And that's what I do every single week on the show. I get politicians at the other side of the table, businessmen, people in civil society, pastors, whoever they are. It is my job to ask the tough questions that make them uncomfortable so that you listeners can get the best out of my interviews. Join me every week on The Drill as I ask the most uncomfortable questions, the most important people in society.
Oh, baby. When I wake up in the morning, I see your lovely face. Your cheeks like butter, honey from a teacup. You take my breath away. Your pretty little fingers so tender, like petals from the morning bloom. Your laughter a joy to remember. Heaven has blessed me with you. The very day you came to me, my whole life became brand new. Because of you. Oh baby, I see me in your eyes.
So how did he take your journey into the limelight, where on the lips of every young girl and young boy in Lagos State was the hit song Kuchi Kuchi? How did the bishop take that? How did he take the fact that you had to stay out all night, for setting shows, and come back home in the morning?
My dad was happy for me, honestly. Sometimes the truth is, fame is not bad in itself. It's how you handle it.
Yeah.
And he kept on checking on me. I hope you're good. He did what he would do as a dad, not stopping me from experiencing what I needed to experience, but always reminding me, remember where you come from, you remember whose daughter you are, and all that. But fame itself is not bad, because I sense you asked that question with that sort of warning sign, or oh, how did he take it? He took it well, and in fact, all his friends that were bishops are like, oh my God, your daughter is on TV, and everybody wanted to be a part of it. Everybody loves a winner.
Yeah,
that's the truth. And so everybody was excited about it.
So you had one hit song, Too Much Pressure to replicate several other hit songs. Did you cake under the pressure, or you just got uninterested, or the market had moved on from the kind of music that you were doing? Why was it that there was nothing after the Kuchi Kuchi?
To be sincere, there was something after Kuchi Kuchi. You're wrong there. But it didn't get the popularity that Kuchi Kuchi, they didn't get, because I released an album actually called African Woman.
Yeah.
I did songs like Under the Mango Tree, Akpona Igbonu, that's in my local dialect, which means life is a mystery. And people love these songs. But just,
you're a Robo, by the way.
I'm a Robo, yeah. But just because people, for example, let's assume we have 10 million, just for the sake of this example, 10 million people who loved Kuchi Kuchi, and now just 1 million people or 5 million people are aware of the other songs. It doesn't mean those songs were failures or were not hits. It just means they didn't have the same popularity. No, not popularity. They weren't as well known as the other ones.
How did that make you feel? Going from having a hit song.
Yes,
to
yes.
How did you take that?
I think I was still not too moved by that. Honestly, I got carried away by a lot of other things to be even aware that those songs were not, that I was meant to replicate the hits per se. I got carried away. I got pregnant, I got married, and in that order, which I believe is not acceptable, both socially and even in the Christendom. So all those things, and giving birth, becoming a mother, not as you would plan to be, all that were taking over my.
I'm glad you brought us into this arena, and,
Yes.
and I'd like to drill a bit deeper into the personal. Were you pressured to get married because you were pregnant? And you were the daughter of a bishop.
I was
so
not pressured. I was not
So
pressured.
it was
to
your
get-
decision to go into
I
the
was
marriage.
I was in love with this person,
Okay.
and he decided to marry me after I got pregnant. I was happy. I thought it was God answering my prayers, because it was honestly it wasn't something good to hear that the bishop's daughter is pregnant out of wedlock, but somehow, strangely, I don't regret any of these things, both the shame it would have brought.
How did your mother, who was the wife of the bishop, who is naturally supposed to take the heat for not bringing up the girl up to measure up to the daughter of the bishop, how did she take the news that you were pregnant out of wedlock?
Of course, they were not happy. They were sad. They were taken aback. Like, why? Anyway, before something happens, a lot of things happen along the way. I tried to articulate earlier that I got carried away. A lot of things were happening. This is showbiz. It's like a fast train. Everything is just happening, and you're in the midst of it. And if you're not careful, you just forget your values and do whatever. It's not like I was a bad person in quotes, or so to say, but I got carried away and got pregnant, and before that would have happened, I was trying to say, I was still in charge of the choir, and there were times I would lie, like I'm having an interview, but I wasn't, because they were always checking on me. They were still the parents they were meant to be. They were always there, but I would lie, I'm having an interview, and you can't always, when a child wants to go their own way, you can't totally be there. You can't totally, there is so much you can do as a parent.
Yeah.
You can only keep reminding your child, but
So, yeah.
I did certain things, and they say in Nigerian proverbs, when breeze blew, and that is where I was. So they were not happy, but quickly, because they knew that I was still their daughter, and I needed still them to be my parents. Even though they were unhappy, they still had to say, well, this is where we are, so now what? They didn't force me to marry him, but he said he wanted to marry me, and like, wow. So I went.
So you got pregnant, you made up with your family, and here you go to marry David Anaji, the love of your life.
Yes.
And everything turns around in 11 months. What changed? Where did the love go?
To be honest, I wouldn't want to be specific about certain things. This interview, at the end of the day, is me and you. It's not about him. But I'd like to say that I'd like to say that sometimes when you don't plan properly, you may hit the rock quickly. Sometimes, if I were to take the whole process again, I'd be a bit slower. I'd perhaps say no to certain things, or yes. But I don't say that with regret. This is me, and this is where I am.
Do you think that the child made all the difference? If you were not pregnant with a child,
yes,
you probably would have had a chance at building a healthier relationship. And the fact that you got pregnant out of wedlock, and he probably felt that it was the right thing to do at the time. It made every other thing complicated. Do you think if it was without a child, you would have had a chance at a better relationship with him? Because you said you clearly loved each other.
yeah.
So was it a child that made the difference?
I wouldn't want to say that the child made the difference. For love to stand the test of times, trials have to come. Difficulties have to come. And if you don't pass that test, then what's the love at the end of the day? Perhaps it wasn't. Perhaps it was not strong enough. Perhaps you rushed into it, like I said. And when you rush into things, you rush out of it. I don't blame it on the child. That child is the best, or one of the best things that has ever happened to me. And to be sincere, special needs or not. In fact, the fact that he is a special child has made me much more aware as a human being.
And I was going to get to that in a minute, because you had one of the most traumatic experiences trying to give birth to that child, who eventually was diagnosed with
cerebral palsy and lyssencephaly.
Exactly. So, first, you had a traumatic experience trying to give birth to the child. What were the complications leading up to the delivery of the kid?
To be sincere, there was no complication before the labor.
Yeah.
But that day, my labor was induced, and the doctor was like, "You're going to deliver normally." And after a while, he started whispering. Then I found out that it was we had to do an emergency CS. From my end, a novice, I'm not in the medical field. I really don't know what went wrong or why things went the way they did. But the baby was stuck, and I had the CS. There's not so much time for me to explain what happened, but I thought I was going to die, and I kept asking if the baby was fine. We named him before he was born. Is Gino fine? Because I felt like even if I'm going to die, at least it shouldn't be double bad news. At least the baby should be alive. So to cut long story short, the baby didn't cry for 9 hours after he was born, and he was admitted in another hospital, because that was a private hospital and didn't have everything like the oxygen and all the child needed at that time. So he was referred. So he was admitted for like 10 days in a federal hospital, and after a while he came home. He looked normal, like a normal child. His head shape was normal, but it's just that he wasn't the kind of baby that would cry. I don't understand. But they said, don't worry, he will cry, and eventually he was crying. But when he was like 6 weeks old, my younger sister noticed a slight depression on the left side of his frontal skull. And what I thought would be a routine check, the doctor was like, we're referring you to another hospital that is into the neurology for children and all that. And that was how the whole roller coaster started.
So it was at about 6 weeks into the birth of your child that you knew you had a condition of cerebral palsy?
No, not that. That's just 6 weeks. That's when we noticed a slight depression. Yeah. But we didn't know what it was. So in about a month, after doing the EEG scans, the CT scan, and and the doctors asking questions over and over again, then they diagnosed him with CP and lyssencephaly. Lyssencephaly being smooth brain syndrome.
Now, here's the point I want to get at. You get pregnant outside wedlock.
Yes.
Get married.
Yes.
Your home is shaking.
Yes.
You give birth to a child who's diagnosed with. Did you at any point in time think that your sins were beginning to punish you?
You don't even need to ask. Several times, I'm like, God, are you punishing me? Why? I'm sorry. And it went on like that for a while. In fact, I'm still going through a phase, honestly, presently. But I'm not where I used to be. I'm not depressed anymore, thank God. But I see myself changing phases. I see myself growing. I see myself accepting. I see myself more empathetic as a human being, because that boy made me calm down as a person. He just taught me a lot of things that nobody could have taught me. And now I know it's not me being punished for no sin. No, God didn't punish me for getting pregnant before getting married, because that boy is a miracle to me. The things I have learned as a person, I see myself a better human being since that boy came into my life. So that couldn't have been a punishment. That's a blessing.
Did you at any point in time, because of course nobody's prepared to deal with cerebral palsy. Nobody's prepared to deal with those kind of things.
No.
In fact, you're also a young person.
Yes.
So there was no way life would have prepared you.
No.
For
I
that
actually
kind of
thought
experience.
those things happened to people far, far away.
Yeah. So, how was there any point in time where you contemplated giving up the child, to a motherless home, or giving the child away so that because you could not deal, and not because you didn't love that kid, but because you were not prepared to deal with a child that needed special attention. Did you ever contemplate, giving up, the baby where he could be better catered for, and absorb yourself from the traumatizing experience of a life that you were not ready for?
And this is not because, I'm about to answer the question, but this is not because I'm a better person or a great woman or a superwoman. No. This is just because I love my baby. No, I never thought about it. I loved the baby. I love him. Always will. And maybe because I've had supportive people around me. Maybe, I don't know. But I've never thought of giving him up. Because if I give him up, who will look after him the way I will? When he's crying excessively, will they be empathetic towards him, or will they be angry? So I would run crazy if I gave him up. I would not be at peace. I don't see how a mom will be at peace. I'm not judging any mom, but any mom that does that, I don't think the mom would be okay inside. They may come out and say I've moved on, but you can't. That's your baby. You can't. I don't think so. It's not. I don't know. I can't even wrap my mind around it.
I mean, I know this interview is about you, and really, like you said earlier, not about David Nanji. But I'm pressed to ask if how he viewed his son, how he received the news, that his son was suffering from a rare condition, and what kind of support he gave, even though he had issues with the mother. What kind of support he lended towards his own son?
Like I said, I'm still saying I do not want to speak for him. You must understand that even though I'm a guest on this show and some people view me as a celebrity, I'm a human being. And I've been through traumatic childbirth, traumatic divorce, traumatic everything. I really don't want to talk about it, not because I'm angry or because I'm weak, but because I choose not to talk about him or it or whatever happened, because it's my way of moving on. Not far and wide enough, but I am not aware of any institution that gives you financial help in raising your special kid. Maybe they are out there, but I'm not aware of
Yeah,
it.
well, not necessarily even finance, but the technical know-how on how to best manage.
Well, there are several institutions that gives advice, talks. Even the school my son attends, they host seminars that teaches you on what to do and all that. For me, sometimes it's not even about the formal knowledge about the diagnosis your child may be having. It's that social support, the fact that other people are going through what you're going and they understand where you're coming from. I think that's fine. Although honestly, there is need for financial help, because taking care of a special needs kid can be financially tasking, because the kind of food they eat is different. If you want to really take care of them, the food is different because you're trying to help the brain heal. The gadgets, everything is it's much more expensive. So honestly, I am aware that in other countries, some countries outside Nigeria, they have financial assistance from the government. Although honestly, the challenges we are facing in this country is different. So I wouldn't say now I'm calling on the government to help, but if they can, it will be great.
like I said earlier, I know that it's a huge responsibility, you have raising your child. Is there a chance that you'll be in the studio anytime soon again?
And you may have missed it. I came out with a new song titled Remember Me.
Unbelievable. How in the world did I miss that? When did that single debut?
Last month.
Oh, last month. I mean, just 7 days ago. So I'm not
Okay.
that bad. And how's it been doing? Radio stations and all of that?
Fairly well.
Quite well. And receptions is quite good.
Fairly well.
Okay. So you are going to give it another chance, that music?
Yes. I'm giving it another chance because honestly, I know I didn't do, apart from the fact that I did a few songs, then I went silent. I kind of said to myself, you know what, you love to sing, go back and do it.
So we expect to see a whole lot more and hear you a whole lot more in our music sets.
By the grace of God.
I'm glad you're giving music another chance. Final question I'd like to ask is, are you going to be giving love another chance? Or you have given love another chance already?
I was speaking to a friend recently and he asked me the same question. Asked me, are you going to get married again? And I told him I don't know because I really don't.
So you are not seeing anybody yet?
I told him I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do this again. I'm not in a place where I'm saying, no, I'm not going to do it again. And neither am I in a place where I'm saying, I'm going to do it again. This is the answer of an innocent child. I don't know because I really don't know. I don't know what's going to happen next, considering my emotional life. I don't know. I don't know really. I'd love it to happen, but I really don't know. So I can't give an answer to that.
I mean, Jodie, I hope you find love. I hope your music does exceptionally well on the music charts. And I wish you the best with your fabulous son. And it's a pleasure to get a chance to talk to you. And I wish you the best going forward.
Thank you.
Thank you for being